start of the year, I've been challenging myself to get out of my comfort zone more often by trying one new thing every single week. I've called this challenge Goodbye Comfort Zone Mission, and it is basically a challenge to help you become more comfortable with the uncomfortable, as well as to help you expand the limits of what is possible for you. This challenge has honestly completely transformed my life in ways that I never thought possible before starting it. And so today, I'm going to share with you precisely what this challenge is all about, how you can grow without the overwhelm, and just basically how the Goodbye Comfort Zone Mission can help you change your life too. But before we dive in, if you're new here, hi, hello, my name is Irene, welcome. I'm a mindset and mindful growth coach with a background in neuroscience and positive psychology, and I would like to welcome you into your go-to space for creating a happy life. Here we talk all things mindfulness, self-growth, and journaling, so if that's your vibe, make sure that you subscribe down below so you don't miss out on any future videos and resources. Okay, let's get into it. But actually, we need to rewind a little bit so I can give you some context on how this challenge even came to be. Exactly a year ago, I moved from Portugal to Croatia, and I never really talked about it, but to be honest, the whole transition period and the adjustment period of moving abroad, moving to another country, to be honest, it was a little bit challenging for me at the time. For the first few months, I just basically focused on furnishing the flat, making our apartment feel like an actual home, and basically I isolated myself fully. I just kept on making excuses for getting out of the house and meeting people, like, oh, where do I even meet like-minded people? Or, oh, I don't know the language. You get the idea. Just a bunch of excuses. And so the first few months passed like this. And around December, I had this butterfly effect moment of realizing that that was not how I wanted my life to be. And that's when I took the first step to get out of my comfort zone. I booked a ceramics workshop and I went all by myself. I remember being on my way there. It was a cloud and rainy evening. It was dark. It was terrible. My entire being was filled with so much anxiety, so much nervousness, so much fear for what I was doing in that moment. And I remember just cry my way there because of how uncomfortable it felt. But guess what? The workshop was lovely. I survived. It wasn't that bad. Although, consciously, that's what I was trying to tell myself and remind myself, it's not a big deal, you can do this. But subconsciously, there's always things going on a deeper level, and it's harder to combat subconscious feelings and subconscious thoughts and subconscious beliefs with just conscious thoughts and conscious feelings and conscious beliefs. Moral of the story was, I did it. I took my first step. Everything was fine. And then a few weeks later, I took my second step. I found this community of female entrepreneurs in Zagreb, which it's literally me, so very much like-minded women, and I decided to go to attend an event with them. Again, I went on my own. I didn't know anyone. I was feeling scared and anxious, but a little bit less, because guess what? Things get better. It gets easier with time. So yeah, I went for it, even though it was, again, super scary and I was very nervous for it, but I did it. And it was also lovely. But basically, these two experiences helped me realize that getting out of my comfort zone and taking steps to get out of my comfort zone was exactly what I needed to do to be able to get to that next level. And despite fears, despite uncertainties, that was exactly what I needed to do. And so at the start of 2024, I began Goodbye Comfort Zone Mission to ensure that I kept on challenging myself to get out of my comfort zone often. This challenge is based on that idea of feel the fear and do it anyway, except it has a twist. You do it mindfully. Now, what exactly is this challenge? As I briefly mentioned, the Goodbye Comfort Zone Mission involves trying out one new thing every single week. And you might be thinking, how does that differ from just getting out of your comfort zone? Firstly, you are doing it very frequently. So at least once a week, you're taking a step out of your comfort zone, which in the end adds up and compounds into a massive change. And secondly, my approach to personal development is something that I call mindful growth, which basically means that step by step, you are exposing yourself to fears and discomforts, of course, that comes with getting out of your comfort zone, but with less overwhelm. So it's more manageable. How can you grow mindfully? You're probably asking. So based on where you are right now, you choose what your next step will be. And my recommendation, and this is what what I always suggest to my coaching clients is that you start with something just slightly uncomfortable. Something you can expose yourself to that is just slightly challenging. And you can even see this as a game. So this is where you're starting. This is your starting level. And step by step, every time you do something out of your comfort zone, as weeks are passing, you're basically moving up a level. For example, as I said, when I moved to Croatia, I felt quite anxious about going outside. So what I started by doing was just going for walks around my neighborhood. Very simple, very easy, a very small step, which is better than going into an event of, let's say, 5,000 people straight away, isn't it? You see the difference? Small steps. I also implemented rewards and I leaned a lot into my strengths, so the things that I'm naturally good at, just to make each level a bit more enjoyable and a little bit less scary. So, another example, I got to explore different areas of Zagreb by going out, trying out new cafes, and basically using something that I love, coffee, as an incentive to do so. The 3 rules: make it simple, make it enjoyable, make it mindful. Now, why on earth is it even that important to get out of your comfort zone and to expose yourself to fears? Because surely it's better and easier to stay comfortable, isn't it? Well, yes, of course it is. Of course it is easier to just remain comfortable and remain where you are. But as I said, getting out of your comfort zone is what allows you to expand the limits of what is possible for you and for your life. The discomfort that you're avoiding today is basically the success that you miss tomorrow. Because guess what? Your dream life and your goals and the success and the things that you envision for yourself, they're on the other side of you facing your fears. They're on the other side of that momentary discomfort. So yes, it can be challenging to get out of your comfort zone, but I'm proof that this works, and that's why we have this approach of mindful growth instead of just exposing you directly to a massive fear and causing insane overwhelm. I am proof that this works. My clients are proof that this works. Because of this challenge, this year alone, I've been able to get out of my house anxiety-free, even go on solo dates. Like, I love my own company so much now. I love doing things on my own. I love going to events on my own, which past me would have thought that was completely insane, but it is my truth now. I got over all my fears of going to the gym. I attended my first summit. I even hosted an in-person workshop event. I made so many amazing connections with like-minded people throughout this past year as well. I finished my mindset coaching and my bar teacher certifications, which I had been procrastinating on for a long time. Everything is connected. Everything is mindsets. The excuse that you make on one thing and the excuse that you make on something else, they're most likely connected. But that's even a whole topic for another video. I was also able to cross things out of my bucket list that had just been sitting there for literal years. Like, I finally bought a guitar. I used to play guitar when I was younger and I've been wanting to get back into it for years, and literally last week I bought a guitar. I also went to pottery, ceramic workshops, paint a mug workshops, like so many things. I've done so much this year, but that is just part of it. The biggest reason why this challenge has been so wonderful for me, it's because of how much I, as a person, have transformed, how much I have grown. Like, now I feel so much more confident in my abilities, in trusting that I have what it takes to bring goals to life, which before I was filled with so much self-doubt, and getting out of my comfort zone has helped me build up that confidence. Make promises to myself and keep those promises has built so much self-trust within me. And that's why you're, for example, seeing this video right now, because I dove deep into mindset work alongside taking the action, taking the steps, which allowed me to overcome so many blocks that I had when it comes to my mind, so many triggers, so many patterns. That's also why, for example, I was finally able to drop excuses that I was making. And after 5 years of dreaming about this, I am officially bringing to life my dream journal projects. If you missed the last video, this is basically a physical guided journal to help transform ambitious dreamers like I once was into mindful go-getters. So you can also befriend your mind, and so you can also take the steps that you want to take towards your goals. Like, so much can happen in such a short amount of time as long as there's intentionality behind your actions and as long as you're putting a little bit of effort to expose yourself to fears. Feel the fear and do it anyway. That's the motto. But remember, mindfully always. So when you feel a fear or discomfort, which you will experience when you get out of your comfort zone, don't ignore it. Listen to the fear, listen to discomfort. What is it trying to tell you? But then take the step anyway, because I can tell you it gets easier the more you do it. And that's why through this approach of mindful growth, you're also starting step by step, a tiny step at a time, building up your resilience, building up your self-trust, building up your confidence, and it gets easier over time. Because that step you're taking today and that little step that you're going to take next week, they add up. And once you look back at the person that you were when you started the Goodbye Comfort Zone mission, you're going to notice so much growth, so many changes. You're going to realize just how much progress you've actually done by taking one tiny step at a time. So this is a challenge. This is Goodbye Comfort Zone mission. This is the alternative to growing without overwhelm. Step by step, one at a time. That's how it goes. Thank you so much for being here and allowing me to share this experience and this challenge that I've created with you all. Let me know if you decide to give it a try. Let me know if you have any questions about it as well. I'm sending you all the happiness your way, and I'll see you in the next video.